everyone, and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Jazmin and I'm a small business owner, wife, and mom to a 5-year-old. If you've been feeling like your body hasn't been feeling right and there have been changes that you can't really explain, then you're in the right place. I want you to know that you're not alone. A little over a year ago, I started experiencing symptoms and my body started changing in ways that honestly scared me. And I really didn't know what was happening. It started with brain fog. Now, before having brain fog, I actually was very organized. I had no issues with my memory. I had no issues remembering things. But then I started noticing that I was forgetting words. I would lose my train of thought in the middle of a conversation. I would walk into rooms and not remember why I was walking in. And that really scared me. Around the same time, I started experiencing fatigue. And it was a type of fatigue that a good night's sleep wouldn't resolve. It wouldn't fix it. And I would feel like I was running on empty throughout the day. I would wake up exhausted. I would pretty much go throughout the day exhausted. And there really was no amount of sleep that would make me feel better. Along that same time, I also was experiencing tingling of the ears and itchiness inside my ears. The tingling would be faint at times, and other times it would be really hard to ignore. The itchiness would be so severe sometimes that it would wake me up in the middle of the night. Now, I thought they were allergies, so I started taking allergy medicine, and it didn't go away. And even now, from time to time, I still experience it. Along the same time, seems like all these symptoms started coming one right after another. I started experiencing hot flashes and night sweats. And those were very unexpected. Hot flashes basically would come just out of the blue. It would be a rush of heat that I couldn't control, and there was no amount of air conditioning or cold water that I could drink that would make the feeling go away. I would have to wait until it went away on their own. Similarly with night sweats, I had an issue with those overnight, and from one night to the next, I would never know when they're coming. Even to this day, I still experience them. And basically, it's this overwhelming feeling of heat and sweat and really uncomfortable feelings overnight. And I take the covers off only to feel like I'm freezing and I have chills, and then I have to put the covers back on, and then I start to sweat again. So I basically have to wait until the night sweat passes on its own. Needless to say, all of these symptoms affect sleep, and when you don't get enough sleep, it does affect the rest of the activities and things that you have to do throughout the day. Additionally to that, the most frightening symptom that I had was tingling of my face and my arms. And I was feeling tingling all the way down to my fingertips in both arms and across my face. Now, I thought of the worst case scenario, of course, because I was really scared. But I didn't want to go to the ER because I didn't want to scare my daughters. So instead I went to urgent care because I have an urgent care relatively close to my house. And I met with the doctor, explained all my symptoms, all the symptoms that I was having up until then. They ran all sorts of tests. Everything came back negative and normal. But he couldn't really explain why I was having these symptoms to begin with. So by then I had already started doing some research, and I started suspecting that maybe it was perimenopause. So I suggested that to the doctor and was immediately dismissed. This was the first time I had really ever experienced a medical professional dismissing me after I've explained all of my symptoms. And it was quite frustrating. I left urgent care feeling just as scared and frustrated and confused as I was when I walked in. So I left, and I decided to speak to my two sisters about it. I explained to them what had happened, and my older sister actually had a similar experience, and she explained to me her experience with the face tingling and the arm tingling. So I began to realize that I wasn't the only one experiencing this, and that this was potentially also a perimenopausal symptom. So I started doing more and more online research. I started asking other women that were in my circle that I felt comfortable asking, and started realizing that we were all having different sets of symptoms, and some of those symptoms overlapped, and then some of them had symptoms I hadn't experienced yet. Um, but I think the hardest part of this entire journey so far has been the fact that no one has prepared us for this. No one prepared me for this. And while you hear the term perimenopause and then subsequently menopause, you don't really know what you're going to experience until that time comes. And sometimes you're dealing with other things. I had other really life-changing events that were happening in the past year as well that I attributed to these symptoms. I didn't realize they were perimenopause. I thought it was stress, and I thought that my level of stress contributed to all these symptoms. It wasn't really until I had the hot flashes and the night sweats that I started realizing, okay, this might actually be more of a perimenopausal symptom, since those symptoms are so commonly attributed to that. But I started getting frustrated because I realized that this is a topic that a lot of women don't talk about. I didn't feel prepared. And I think that is one of the hardest parts of this journey, is the lack of preparedness, the lack of discussion, the lack of medical professional knowledge that will help support us throughout this stage of life. And to be honest, it's very frustrating. And that led me to create this channel. And so this channel was something that I've been thinking about for a while now. And I decided that I wanted to move forward with this because I wanted there to be a resource, not only for myself, but for other women that are either currently experiencing it, or they may want to be prepared themselves for when that time comes. So I want this channel to be a place where we can have honest conversations, share our stories and experiences, perhaps give each other encouragement, and hope that we can navigate through this together. If any of these symptoms resonate with you, I would love to hear your stories in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts, and I would love for you to share your experience. This is a topic that every woman at some point will have to handle or have to deal with. If you're not currently experiencing it, at some point you will inevitably have to. So I hope to be a resource to help you, and I hope others will share their experiences to help one another out. I'm not a doctor. I'm not providing any medical advice. I'm just a woman sharing her experiences and the lessons that she's learning along the way, and would love to share those lessons with all of you. So if you've been watching this far, I hope that you'll consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.